What is up, Buster family? Happy Thursday. Hope everyone's having a fantastic day wherever you're all at. It's snowing here. Hope you guys are having good weather and you and your families are being safe and enjoying it. So we fielded a couple questions lately. A lot of you guys especially have hopped on here joining because you're getting ready for your dri-tri. If you're a Orange Theory enthusiast or athlete, for some of you guys, you're getting ready for other events. And one of the questions we fielded from several of you guys right now is, I have my dri-tri scheduled for Friday or Saturday, and what should I eat, right? And oftentimes, from my experience of coaching athletes of all forms, that's one of the questions that we get oftentimes is, hey, my event or competition is on Saturday, what should I eat on Friday, right? Or even just the morning of. And so, just to kind of make it simple, I had a coach a long time ago basically give me this advice, and I think it really sticks, is essentially, don't ever go hunting with a gun or a rifle that you've never shot. All right, I'll say it again. Don't ever go hunting with a gun or a rifle that you've never shot prior to going hunting or doing whatever you're doing, all right? The reason because of that is if you're not familiar with it, right? Like it might be the best thing for somebody else, right? Like it may be the best rifle, the best gun, the best whatever. But if you never shot it and then all of a sudden you get out there and realize that it's made for somebody who's left-handed or somebody who sees through a different way of their eyes, or it just doesn't load the same way, or it uses different ammo, or there's a million different things that you might realize of like, well, this actually didn't do me any good, right? And so the same thing happens that when we are talking about our nourishment leading up essentially to an event or competition, all right? So for a lot of you guys, it's understanding of like, well, when you go into the gym every single day or you go into your training or whatever, you're doing things that are essentially trying to promote the appropriate stimulus so it gets you prepared for those things that are coming up, right? And so what you do every single day, not only physically of how you move, the way you breathe, the stimulus in which you are providing yourself, but also in addition to that is how you nourish yourself, what you eat, what you drink, what you breathe, what you consume, is also going to be what your system is used to every single day when you go into the gym and when you go into a training regimen, right? Like oftentimes we hear this, and especially it's a very big proponent of the endurance community, especially, is carb loading, right? Like, oh, I got this event coming up, I'm going to carb load the day before, right? Like the thought process there, and it has been shown to be beneficial on the sense of increasing essentially your glucose and your glycogen storage in your muscle tissue and your liver, which potentially can give you longer bouts of quote unquote energy based off of that energy system. But what doesn't get discussed in that is, okay, say you do that, and then all of a sudden you have either food that you've never had before, you have food that you may have possible allergic reactions to, or a food that potentially causes some sort of GI or gastrointestinal distress, right? Like now imagine that you're going to be doing your event for 40, 50, 60, 70 minutes with, stomach issues. That's probably not going to promote the best fundamental experience and probably the best performance at the same time. So hopefully you guys, as you go through this and as you get to know us, you can understand is what you do consistently is always going to yield essentially the best response in you, right? Like don't go changing up your routine the day of or even the day before. What you do leading up to that, right? Like we always try to well, if you're dehydrated yesterday, that didn't come from or if you're dehydrated today, that didn't just come from necessarily your activities today or even yesterday. That came from what you did the days prior, right? Like, did you not eat enough? Or did you not get enough salt in your system? Did you not get enough good water in your system, right? Like, all of these things equate and stack, right? But the mistake I see oftentimes as athletes when we go into an event is, oh, I'm going to fix all the issues that I did leading up to this thing the day of. Well, if you're trying to do that, you're already too late. right? Like, I hate to say it, but you're already too late, and you got to put your best foot forward and do the things you can. But as far as when it comes to what to do the day of or the day before, do the same thing you've been doing. Now, if you haven't been doing essentially getting enough nourishment in your system and making sure that you essentially have, my time's almost up, making sure that essentially you have enough energy already built up in the system, yet again, this is an opportunity for you to take note of this, right? And take note of like, okay, I just did this, I bonked, I crashed, I didn't have enough energy, you know what, I felt lethargic, by the time I got onto the run, I felt like I was crashing, right? Like I didn't feel like I had enough energy in the system. Okay, we can take note of that, right? Maybe we need to probably increase the amount that you may be eating every single day. Maybe we're not getting enough full nourishment in the system, so we might be deficient in certain nutrients that are providing the system to contract, to promote blood flow, to all these kind of things in there, right? So it's being able to, okay, what you've done to this point, you've kind of made your bed, you got to lie in it, right? But I would highly, highly, highly suggest don't change anything up, and don't go throwing a bunch of food or things into your diet, or throwing in like pre-workouts and all the other stuff I've seen athletes do over the years the day of. Because if you haven't tested it, odds are when you get 40 minutes deep into something, your system is not going to probably promote very well, right? And at the end of the day, is whether you go out and smash a PR, awesome, or you go out and you can use this as essentially data and see how you responded. That was what we can do as far as the opportunity in this, okay? So yet again, if you've been doing what you've been doing, don't change anything. Okay, if you're it's Thursday and your event's tomorrow or Saturday, don't change anything. Okay, what I would suggest on there, you guys, though, is making sure that you get enough substance in your system, making sure that you get carbohydrates, good proteins, some fats in the systems, get all of the things that we were talking about. You know, if you haven't seen our live from the other day, go watch it on Wednesday where we discuss a lot of these things. But if don't throw something new into the system that you have not tried before. All right, so hopefully this helps you guys. If you got questions, would love to hear your guys' thoughts or feedback, or some things that might be causing some anxiety for you, right? Like where, you know, I know Devin went over a lot of the specifics of some strategies going over the dri-tri, but you know, when it comes to elements of this, where are we holding back on? What are we maybe feeling uncertain on? How can we help you out? So hope you guys are having a great day. Appreciate your time. Appreciate you being a part of this group. And yeah, go crush it. If tomorrow or Saturday's your day, go and crush it and have fun.